Day here today. Got my buddy Todd Sullivan in from Massachusetts. What do you have today for us, Todd?
How are you, Doug? How are you? Yeah, we're looking at a few things. We're looking at oil again.
Yeah, I saw that. What are you thinking about oil?
Well, I mean, basically the production of oil stays pretty stagnant for the last 5 years. So if we can't produce any more oil when we have increasing demand, and we can't produce any more oil and there's a historic price increase, then I think we just can't produce any more oil.
Right. The Democrats, again, I saw last week, I don't remember the details, were again stopping drilling somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old story. But, you know, if you're going to invest in oil, then that's what you want, right? Because you're going to keep the supply and the production of it down, and demand for oil is going to increase. So, you know, the economy is eventually going to get better, and people will start using oil again. So we know we're going to have increasing demand as time goes on. This is a longer play. You know, I'm not looking for anything to happen in the next month or so. But we know oil is going to go up long term, and we're at a huge trough in it with incredible demand destruction. With that comes incredible production destruction. So it's kind of the same thing we're talking about with natural gas. We're in this trough, and I think the trough is overblown to the bottom side. And, you know, if you can buy it here and build a position here and you're nice and patient, you know, I think down the road you're going to be very, very happy you did.
I think so, too. Now, I see that you cited T. Boone Pickens, who's one of my favorites.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you know, everyone's going to point out that T. Boone was wrong I think it was last spring with oil, and he was. But you know what? The guy's a billionaire, so he's been right way more than he's been wrong in oil.
Right, brother. That's right, brother. We're in the same game, man. I think that's a good way to keep score.
Yeah, and you know what? So oil goes from 30 to 70. Even there's a lot of people. If you look at Gregor McDonald, Gregor.us, his website. You know, even that oil's cheap, even at $75. You know, because oil's $35 to get it out of the ground, so you get the energy and the stuff that goes with it for free. So you know, we're at abnormally cheap levels on oil.
Now,
so
how will you play that, Todd?
Well, for a longer term play, I'm going to go with the USO.
Okay.
DXO is the 2-time ETF, but for long term plays, you know, the leverage ETFs, unless you got a spike in the market, the leverage ETFs you'll lose ground on long term because the 2 times the downside is more than 2 times the upside.
Right, I've scalped DXO quite a bit.
Yeah, you know, so what I'll do is I'll go long with the UXO, something to kind of sit and hold, and then we have these bizarre price dislocations. Then you jump in with the DXO to kind of supplement it and take advantage of a quick price run or a drop, you know, and then you get in and get out of that. But, you know, I'm looking for oil to kind of climb for the next, you know, 1, 2, 3 years. So USO is the way to play that. And then you just use your DXO, you know, kind of icing on the cake every now and then when we get these bizarre days where it drops 10% for, you know, you can't figure out why.
Right.
But it'll happen. So when it does, you use a DXO and you jump in and out of that.
All right. Now, switching gears, my friend,
Okay.
you apparently are the only one that's actually typing facts about general growth?
Yeah, I was blown away this weekend. There was an article in the New York Times about general growth, and apparently they got an interview with Bill Ackman or spoke to somebody who spoke to him. And the article really wasn't clear whether or not the author was speaking to him or, you know, someone familiar with the situation was speaking to Bill. And they said that general growth hadn't disclosed what it paid for Pershing Square had not disclosed what it paid for its general growth shares. Which blew my mind because in 15 seconds I went to the SEC's website and found exactly how much they'd paid for the shares, when they bought them, and not who they bought them from, but whether it was a swap or straight equity buy.
Well, you know, they just sold their building here and leased it back so that they're going to be broke quick, soon.
Maybe the research archives were there, part of the sale. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they don't have the internet anymore.
I don't know. And then this morning there was another one on Deal.com. And they said that Pershing was underwater, that Pershing had helped that General Growth had to refinance their debt, and they gave three scenarios. Refinance their debt, the commercial real estate market would turn around, and that bailout money would be available for it. And neither one of those 3 scenarios is anything Pershing's ever talked about. Ackman said they should file Chapter 11 the day he bought the shares, and that's been his constant theme. So it was really bizarre to me how there's so much misinformation out there.
And dangerous stuff. I mean, this is a risky play enough as it is to have somebody like Deal.com and the New York Times out putting out wrong facts.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to have the facts and come to a completely opposite conclusion, but it's another thing to be putting stuff out there that's just not true, or, that it gives the appearance that Ackman is hiding something and not disclosing when he paid for his shares when, by law he has to, and he does, and it's right in the SEC filings. 10 seconds worth of effort would have found out the prices that he paid for them. So it was really kind of weird, and I hadn't seen stuff like that in a while, and to get two things like that, a day apart, really, it's concerning that there's that kind of erroneous reporting out there on the subject.
Really, not just lazy, but dangerous. An awful lot of people have a lot of money in here, and it's a risky enough play to begin with to not have these two out there misreporting things that are wrong.
Yeah, I agree. It makes you kind of wonder. You read that and that's wrong like that. So
well, what else is?
Yeah, you read the next article that maybe you don't have as much background information yourself on.
And now you're getting steered the wrong way. I'll tell you what, my friend, after I read Taleb's The Black Swan, I turned off the television, and I turned off almost all media. I bet I cut down 95%. And it's a lot of that is for that reason, that some of the stuff is wrong, and it sticks with you.
Yeah, it does. It does. And again, if they have an expert on there, and he's stating information and stating fact, the good thing about the blogs and the Twitter is typically when someone says I believe A, it's here's why, and here's my backup for that fact. Here's my backup for what I think. Here's the site. You cite things, and you have links to other fact sources. But you get some guy on TV who's just blah 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 blah.
And no accountability. He walks off the set. He didn't, and that's it.
If you don't have the background, you don't know. It's do you believe it or not? And if you do, if you would believe the New York Times article or the Deal.com, you would have thought Pershing was desperate to get out of the GGP position.
Right.
That they had made a huge mistake. When the reality is, this is exactly what they wanted from day one.
And this is exactly what you've been saying the whole time, my friend. Thank you again for your time today. I really appreciate it. More insightful stuff. Todd is my friend. He's one of the smartest guys that I've ever seen, and he does his research, and we give you the facts. We're not telling you what to do. We're telling you what the facts that we find and what we're doing. And come back to the website. I'll have links through. You should be reading his blogs every day, every minute, just like I do. And you can follow us on Twitter and StockTwits. Thanks again, my friend.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Guys, we're at WSMCO.com, and I'll have links through to Todd like I always do, and I'll have links through to see us on Twitter and Stock.